Hey everyone, welcome back to Little Witch Academia episode 8. This is episode 8 review. And this is I guess overall Susie themed episode since she's the main focus somewhat of the episode. And jump into it. This basically takes place in the mind of crazy mind of Susie. Kind of like Inception where she's asleep and someone enters her dream to I guess look for her, I guess. So it's a little weird, but at the beginning of it, Susie was trying to create this super. She calls it the ultra super energy drink, which I assumed would be used to help her study. Maybe she needs to stay up late and study, but she doesn't really seem to be the character who needs help in the studies. And I think she was doing it for obviously to test it. She's loves to do experiments, and she was gonna test it on Akko, but decided to you know what, I'm gonna test it myself and tries it, but not knowing it, it kind of backfires. Instead of giving her energy, it basically puts her into like a coma-like state. She falls asleep, and they're on it. Susie is asleep basically, and Lot and Akko are trying to wake her up, but they can't. And as she's sleeping, they notice these mushrooms are starting to grow in their room, and the mushrooms are getting around her Susie's bed, and soon the whole room is filled with mushrooms. And Lot and Akko decided they could help her instead of going to a teacher so they figure out this spell that can send someone else into the mind of someone else when they're sleeping, which basically boiled down to a lot knocking Akko out with like an energy bat or something like that. So it knocked her out, and Akko is sent into Susie's brain or mind or whatever, or dream, and we see, she meets the like I guess angel and devil version of Susie, like the conscious thing, how it's on your shoulders, that type of thing. Yeah, so they have that kind of representation of I guess not really a good and evil side because both the angel and devil versions are kind of sort of similar in various ways. They even make a lot or Akko sign a contract that if she doesn't get, I guess, find the original Susie something, maybe she gets to stay there or something. I'm not sure. I forget what they made her sign, but they agreed to help her find the original. And as they're looking for her, they see all these different versions of her. Some of them kind of started off with like seven deadly sin versions. You had the sloth version. You had like the she was sleeping in a sleeping bag. But they quickly jumped from that to just different versions. Like they had one that's like a llama that likes to spit on things. She wants to spit on the world, whatever. They had one who was like easily influenced because she's, they can make her easy to impersonate. So she was like Godzilla. They had one that she's quick to anger, so she's an angry one. There's like a Transformer one based on like the Michael Bay Transformer series. The kind of I guess Megatron like face. One where she's like a Jedi. And so there's different versions of her, all these different versions, more than seven deadly sins. Obviously, like in that, there's even one that likes the Nightfall series, like Lot, who loves that book series, and it's kind of interesting seeing all these different versions of her. Eventually, Akko kind of runs into this Susie courtroom, which all these Susies are being put to death, or sentenced to death, or be decapitated or executed, and all of them have different things they like. Again, like one was into Nightfall, one was into like cute animals, and it was just I guess the judge judged those to be unnecessary, so they killed those off, which makes me wonder like is that just why Susie's the way she is in the real world, that she doesn't have much personality. She's really kind of more not really shy, but doesn't say a lot. She's in the background. I like Lot, but Susie I think has her reasons. But this kind of was an interesting I guess take on maybe her personality and various personalities in general, not just common ones like anger, fear, and all those kind of things. This was just way different than any other thing I've seen that deals with like personalities. But Akko kind of saves all those Susies, and they go to a movie. They basically watch a movie. But in the meantime, in the real world, Lot is she notices her fingers are turning into mushrooms, and basically, if Akko doesn't hurry up, the school is going to be taken over by mushrooms. And they see this like in a movie reveal. They see this like mushroom taking over the school, and it blows up eventually. It's kind of weird. But yeah, so during the movie scene, we have this like this retro, not retro, I guess, old school animation, basically like original Mickey Mouse, black and white cartoon, kind of going off on the video, and it's basically Susie's memories of everything that's happened and everything she's been kind of up to, and I guess Akko's starting to see that all these times Susie's been experimenting on her, making fun of her, and all this, and kind of makes her mad. And meanwhile, this is like Lolly version of Susie, who technically becomes out to be this big giant monster, like a Godzilla type creature, and Akko, and they have to hurry up and find the original. So they get to this big tower, and they find the original Susie, who's in the room 666. So that was pretty funny. And even on the car, they're arriving. It's like Little Witch Academia 008, which is this is episode 8. So the car is, obviously the episode. But in order to wake Susie up, Akko thinks she has to drink all these potions because they don't know which one does it to reverse the effects of the energy drink. And she's just going to give it to her mouth to mouth like that. And she tries to, and then the original Susie kind of dodges the kiss before and wakes up. And they go back to the real world. But at the same time, Akko kind of hugs her. It cuts to another morning where she wakes up. Akko hugs her, and she's kind of confused. And they kind of do a little silly gag at the end that it may not be the real world, that there's still, maybe Akko's still in the dream world, because a little mushroom pops up underneath Susie's pillow, and it makes you think, oh, we're not done. This is not the real world. But yeah, that's just, I guess, I kind of feel this is a throwaway episode that, overall wasn't that. It was fun to watch Susie, all the different versions of her, to see what they could do with the character like her by giving her a personality here and there in this little flashback. It was fun seeing a different version of her in this little episode. But again, I feel this was a throwaway episode. Not a lot happened. We don't get much in depth of her character. We just know that either she's got all these personalities, or she's just crazy, or again, she just acts a certain way that she does, and because these personalities are in her head. But yeah, so I know a lot of people who can kind of wanting a Susie themed episode, and this is what they got. I'm pretty sure they might get another one later down the road because it's only episode 8 out of 20 something. So maybe we'll see another episode with this, with Susie getting a more focused, more of a serious reveal. But I don't think so. Right now, I think she's just being written off as this, goofy character who's just there, always doing something. Some extras from the episode that I enjoyed was the animation. Overall, to me, was awesome. I like this kind of style of panty stocking, what do you want to call it? Just not normal animation, basically. So there's a lot of like characters being stretched, they're moving certain ways, in ways that obviously real people don't move like that. So it was cool just seeing the use of animation. And I think the FLC or director or animation director worked on this one, which explains why it's so, I guess, rambunctious and crazy and wild. Because FLCL, obviously, for those who've watched it or have seen it, it is very like that. It's very, characters will stretch in certain ways, and it's there's a certain fluid to them. And again, great seeing all the random different Susies they had. That's kind of cool seeing all the different versions they had of her, like personality wise. And the concept was pretty fun, crazy. I mean, even though we've seen this kind of setup, like I said, Inception is a big thing with that, or The Matrix, or any kind of these where you enter someone's mind, through a device or something to peek into what they're thinking. I think Doctor Strange did the same thing too. But yeah, it's a cool concept, so it was all fun. It was just a fun episode. But again, in the end, I think the only disappointment was this was a very throwaway episode. It didn't do much to affect the character. I didn't feel that we got any character development with Susie. It's like, oh, she's just wild and crazy mentally. So again, this could have been easily like a bonus OVA. This didn't need to be an episode, in my opinion. But yeah. That's it for this episode. So the drawing I decided to do was Susie dressed as Nono from or Non, yeah, from Kill la Kill in her 3-star outfit. I've seen someone draw her wearing I guess Nue, what's the girl's name? She has the purple scissor blade from Kill la Kill. They drew her as that. It gave me the idea that I want to draw her wearing something else. something that little different. So yeah. But anyway, that's episode 8. I'll see you guys for maybe one episode review next time with episode 9. So see ya.